Well, hello. This is episode 2 of One Stick, Two Stick, and I am Heidi. You can find me as KnittyHeidi in most places. And today we are going to look at, talk about 4 sweaters that I have knit from this book, Seamless Knit Sweaters in 2 Weeks by Marie Greene. And we're going to look at 3 of them. I don't have one of them because I gave it away. But we can take a look at 3 of the sweaters that I've made from this book, talk about my notes, and then I'm gonna show you what I got on my needles right now, and we'll see where this goes. All right, so find my notes. Somewhere around 2018, I decided that I needed to learn how to make full-size sweaters. I'd made some baby sweaters and things throughout my knitting, I guess not really career, but knitting adventure. I've been knitting for a really long time, but always found sweaters to be very intimidating, I guess you could say. And I was perusing probably Amazon, looking at various pattern books that were available. At the time, I lived in a pretty rural area where my internet was not that great, so I still preferred ordering a book or checking one out from the library. And I came across this one that really intrigued me, of course, because it must be easy, right? If it can be made in 2 weeks. So, but it was not out yet, so I had to pre-order it. And I was really excited when it came. And so far, I guess since I have 4 sweaters that I've made from it, it really has been a good resource for me. I really like the way Marie Greene writes her patterns. I like that she has lots of stitch count check-ins. And she has a lot of simple designs in this book, but they're also have elements that are still entertaining to your fingers as you go, where it's not just a ton of stockinette all the time. There's always some sort of element to them, whether it's a textured stitch or a a cable or something like that running through it that keeps you entertained. So I had to write down kind of the order that I thought I made these sweaters in so that I could be a little bit organized in talking about them. The first sweater I made is actually the one that I gave away, so I don't even have a picture of it. And that's because when I was knitting this sweater, we were in the process of moving to where we live now. And so we were driving back and forth, getting that process done in purchasing this house, and then of course doing the move. And that's where I did the most of my knitting, was in the car, and I wasn't really sharing a lot at the time or even thinking about taking pictures of anything. So yeah, I'm kind of sad I don't have a picture of it. My mom does still have it, and sometime if I can get her to get out, I probably need to wash and reblock it for her. So maybe sometime in the future I can plug in either a picture or have it with me. But anyway, The first sweater that I made was, let me find it, it's called the Seaside Pleated Cardigan. I'll show you a picture there. And it had a really fun detail in that you have this little pleat detail in the back, which seemed like something fun to learn how to do. And then it also has some interesting detail around the waist. And otherwise, it was very simple. This appealed to me because it is, the pattern calls for a worsted weight yarn, so I knew that it should knit up pretty quickly on, size 7 needles. And I knit it in a yarn that I got from Knit Picks that I know was kind of a foresty olive green color. I'll try to insert a picture. I'll go on Knit Picks and see if I can find the yarn that I used. But yeah, I was fairly new to making sweaters, and like I said, that were adult size. And I did a good job. I was really pleased when I finished it. I think I may have blocked it too aggressively because it fit a little wonky on me. And, but I mean, I was gonna love it anyway, but I went to visit my mom and I had just finished it, so I brought it to show her, and she put it on, and I was like, ugh, that's your color. So, and it is a color that she likes. So after I went home and things, then I decided that I would gift it to her for Christmas? No. Nope, it would have been for her birthday because we moved in March and her birthday's in May. So yeah, anyway, it definitely took me longer than 2 weeks. It was more like 2 months. But that's pretty good considering I was in the process of a move, and I was very pleased. The next sweater that I made, I decided to go bulky, and it is, let me find the original pattern here before I show you my version. Okay, it's the Landmark Cowl Neck Pullover. This one. And yeah, I decided to go for a bulky weight yarn, and it's made on 9 needle because I wanted to just try to whip out something quick because I was really wanting a sweater. And oh, that's the other reason. My other one was green. The cardigan was green because I was knitting it around my birthday, and I have a St. Patrick's Day birthday, and so I was trying to make green sweater. So I decided, since I gave away that green sweater, I need to make a new green sweater. So I ordered, I think this is the Mighty Stitch yarn from Knit Picks, and then I cast on this sweater, and as you can see, I omitted the cowl neck. And then the other thing I did was I made it 3/4 sleeve because then the weather was warming up. And I thought it would be a good layering piece for spring, fall, that kind of thing. And then, I don't know, I got a wild hair when I was making this, and I decided to grab this fingering weight yarn and add it into my cable part as like a highlight or something. I don't know. I'm not crazy about what I did, but it was fun. And yeah, now I have like little bits coming out. I need to clean it up. And even this yarn is not really held up the best. There's lots of snags, I guess. It's not really, I mean, it's pilling a little bit, but there's lots of snags. And then like where I've tucked in my ends, it's pulled out. But look, had really cute detail around the cuffs as well that I did keep. Anyway, when I finished this one, I felt like it was a little on the snug side for my body at the time, and I didn't feel like it was very flattering. So I gave it to my daughter, Hannah Rose, who looks fabulous in green, and she loved it. She liked it. She threw it on, she wore it. That's why it looks worn, is because she did wear it. The only thing is she's not a fan of 3/4 sleeves. So she has just recently, after going through her stuff, handed it to me and asked me to either make the sleeves of this one longer or make her a new one. So I thought about it. I could make the sleeves longer, but then I tried it on, and I'll stick a picture here. And then I liked how it fit. It fit me pretty good. So I think I might actually wear it. We'll see if I wear it as a layering piece. If I don't, then it'll probably end up getting frogged or something. Or maybe I'll go ahead and make the sleeves longer, and then she can have this original one back. I have plans to make her another one, because now that I'm a little more experienced, I think I could knit this up potentially in the actual 2 weeks. I think this one, I got closer. I think it took me a month. But I'm not too hard on myself. I mean, just because it says you can make it in 2 weeks doesn't mean that you should. Anyway, I homeschool my kids, and so life can get pretty busy, although it is nice because I could get them going on their lessons and just sit and knit next to them. Okay, next, the third one that I made is this one that I talked about in episode 1, which is the Shoreline textured cardigan. I'll show you again what that what it's supposed to look like anyway. This one. And I had great fun making this one. But like I mentioned in my first episode, I used a heavier yarn. It's Aran weight instead of DK. And I used yarn that I dyed myself as I was diving into learning how to dye my own yarn, and it's a little crazy. So in my last episode, this was one of my sweater dilemmas that the jury is still out on trying to decide if we should over dye it or have some other ideas on just frogging parts of it, like the collar band and maybe part of the sleeves, and then choosing one of these colors to then do solid in those places to kind of tone down the overall look. But the jury's still out. I'm gonna see if I can wear it more. I wore it a lot the first year I made it. Now, the fourth one that I made is so far my favorite in that I wear it all the time. And now, this one I actually modified quite a bit. So let me find the page that it's on. Okay, this one is the Stowaway Chevron pullover. And as it is, it just looks so comfy, cozy, sweatshirt-like. And it has this neat little side detail that appealed to me. But the reason I landed on this pattern was because I had yarn already and kind of a plan in my head for what I wanted to do with that yarn. And it was not to have a solid color sweater. So this is what I got out of it. So I modified it in that I did striping, and I was just kind of winging how I did my stripes. I do like how it turned out. I did take a picture of how it looks on. I'll stick it here. And I did keep the fun patterning on the side, the chevrons patterns. You don't really notice it much when I'm wearing it because it's on your side underneath. I don't know if people ever notice it, especially since I have this striping that's probably rather distracting. But where was I going with that? Oh, but I enjoyed it while I was knitting it because it broke up the monotony? Yeah, monotony of stockinette stitch in the round. So I guess it ended up having quite a lot going on, and I don't know if you can tell. There, you can tell. It's even striped through here with some different shades of red. And then the other modification I made is that it's short-sleeved. So this sweater has gotten so much use in my wardrobe because it's kind of a year-round thing for me. Because it's warm, I can layer it over a long sleeve if I feel like it in the colder months. And in the spring and the fall, it's fine just as it is. And then even in the summer, I wear it from time to time when I'm going to church because it looks really cute with my jean skirt and a couple of other things. I have a floral dress actually that I like to put this over that I think is cute. Recently, it's been a little boxy on me. So the last time I wore it, and it was to church over that floral dress, I took a shawl clip thing that has a clip on each side. Let me, just a second, I will go get that. So I have this little clip, it has these little grabby clips, and I put it on backwards, and then I tried to find, a same distance, and then I clipped it. Let's see if I can do this in the mirror. And then I clipped it on here, something like that, and then I tried to keep it at the same distance. Anyway, and then I turned it around, and then I had a little waist shaping in it, and I pulled that back, and I think that looked really cute. I mean, obviously I didn't get it even there, but you get the idea. So I thought that was a really neat idea on how to get a little waist shaping when you need it. Because I don't always need it with this sweater. It was just because of the way I was wearing it, styling it with the dress. I really think I should make another one because the full-on sweater just looks so cozy, and I think I would wear that. Now, as far as future sweaters that I'd like to make from this book, well, we already said I'm going to remake this bulky knit one for my daughter, and I have really been interested in this V-neck sweater. Anyway, there's just so many. There really is. Oh, from the very beginning, I wanted to make this one. I just wasn't brave enough to dive into that one at first because it was a DK yarn, but now I work with DK yarn all the time. And so I think that's definitely one that's on the top of my list. The thing that I'm pondering right now, let's see, I think I have a little note here. I think I'm pondering where the arm stripes are of using some of my hand spun yarn sometimes. So it's just a little bit. So sometime when I have the perfect hand spun for that, and that is a DK weight, and then that I can find a yarn that goes nicely with it, we'll cast that one on. And then what else? I thought there was another one here that's at the top of my wish list. I mean, I could probably make pretty much all of these and be happy, or know someone who would like the sweater. I've been drawn to this yellow one too. It's very pretty. It has some fun details on it, as all of these do. Just so many. There's so many cute sweaters in this book that are wearable, I feel like, in pretty much everyday wear, which is really great. So this is one of my favorite sweater books, if you hadn't guessed. And I'm eager because I just noticed that she has a new book coming out, and what was it called? I think Little Knits or something like that. I'll try to stick it up here on the screen. I was thinking about pre-ordering that one. And I also know she's had some other sweater books coming out, but I haven't had the opportunity to check those out yet. So maybe I will at some point. Anyway, so that was my 4 sweaters that I've made from Ray Greene's book, and now I just wanted to show some of the progress I've got on some of my whips. So I talked about this one in the last episode, and it is my Ginny sweater by Andrea Mowry, or Ginny cardigan. I've got quite a bit done. In fact, I was measuring last night, and I think I'm ready for the ribbing. There's going to be 3 inches of ribbing down here, and then I get to move on to sleeves. I'm so excited. I really want to finish this before the cooler weather sets in. I can't remember if I mentioned last time, I think I did, that on this sleeve I made a little oops in that I forgot the textured stitch right in there. You can see that that section's wider, but that's okay. I am going to put some really cute embroidery detail there, I think, and that's just gonna make it mine, right? So I'm really excited to keep working on this one, and this yarn is oh so soft. So I think I'm gonna pretty much live in this cardigan. All right, so last episode I showed some socks that I've been knitting for kind of my on-the-go knitting, and I'm following the recipe, I guess you would say, from Twice Sheared Sheep on that one, but I've just paused. I'm not really loving the colors I'm working with, I think, and how they're turning out. And so I might just frog it. We'll see. I'm gonna let it set aside because sometimes we just need to set things down for a little while and then we can love it again. So for now, I actually couldn't sleep one night, and so I was perusing knitting books in Apple Books and came across this Knit 2 Socks in 1 book, and I'll put it up here. But who was that by? Did I write that down? Let me see. Yeah, by, was it Sophia Talley? I hope I'm saying that right. And it's just a concept I've wanted to try for a while, where you just knit a tube and you place places for afterthought heels. And I think I've attempted to do it on my own before, and I probably could do it on my own, but I really didn't want to do the math. And her book has charts for you can do it in any gauge, and so you figure out what your gauge is for the yarn you want to use, and then she gives you stitch counts and where to place the various elements. So I grabbed some yarn, little bits, so dug through my yarns, and funny thing is, this yarn that I'm using is actually the same yarn that's in this sweater. So it's been around for a while, for a few years. About time I use it for something else. And then I cast it on. So here's my cuff. And then I have this yarn here that I actually dyed with some Kool-Aid at some point, and I just have this little ball of it. So it's been waiting for the perfect project. And then I decided to make my transition between colors a little more interesting, so I just did this little design there. And yesterday I was able to put in the waist yarn stitches to hold for taking out later and putting the heel in. And then I have some of this, I guess you call it barber cord, stitch holder cord anyway, that I have on either side of there, so I'll easily be able to slide all of these live stitches. Once this yarn, scrap yarn, is out, I'll be able to slide my needles right on there real easy. So now I've started to do the foot, and my plan is to see if this gets me my foot, and if it doesn't, then I need to pick out another yarn, which I don't have yet, that's going to be my heel. I'm hoping to find something in this kind of maroon color. Yeah, for my heel, because I think that will be really cute. So if I can find, I still got to dig around my stash some more. I think I have some. If not, I'll find whatever it is, because I really wanted to just stash dive for these. And then I'll finish off the toe in that color. And what was I gonna say? Oh, and then we'll knit the heel in the other color. The other thing I'm gonna do, I did have a tiny, tiny bit of this Kool-Aid yarn left. So at some point in the foot, I'm gonna put a little detail with that little bit. So that's my plan, and I'm really loving this so far. This is a DK or light worsted, because some of these, this is DK, I think, and I think this is actually worsted, but it worked out okay for the cuff. So it's really warm and cozy. I'll be able to wear it a lot with boots or just around the house, and that's the plan. So I'm really loving this sock. There's one thing I forgot to mention about this, is I did post when I was picking out the yarn, I did post and am posting my progress about these socks over on my Patreon feed, and that's just the free feed. If you're on Patreon, think about going and finding my Patreon. I'll put the link below. It is if you just look up KnittyHeidi, that's what it's under. And yeah, anyway. And then the other thing on my needles right now is a sneak peek that I'll give you. Make sure and check my notes here. Trying to keep myself in order. I gave myself an outline so that while I might get chatty, I hopefully won't go off topic too much. Anyway, oh, and my foot's falling asleep. Okay. My daughters and I, two of my daughters, because I have 5 daughters, 2 boys, 2 of my adult daughters are really great with crochet, and I haven't been able to get them knitting, but they're really good with crochet. So I crochet and I knit, but together we've decided to open a pattern shop, and it will be called One Stick, Two Stick, so hence the name of this vlog. But we're really excited because we're really starting to we have about 5 to 7 patterns that we are gearing up to publish for our first release, and we're just fine-tuning some of them, and then they'll be ready to go. So we're really excited about that. So make sure that you hit the subscribe, because I will announce when that goes live. But I've been working on a little baby tee. Oh, I bumped. Sorry. I'm all wiggly because I put my foot up on the thing that is holding my stand. There we go. Okay. So I have this little baby tee that is a drop shoulder tee that I'm designing, and this is just a sample I'm working up. And this is the back, and then the front has a pretty little texture stitch on there, and I really am really pleased with my other samples that I've knit up so far. And this one is almost done. I just have to do the ribbing that I did over here, and there are short rows worked to shape the shoulders, and then we'll have to bind off for the shoulders, and then pick up the neck, do that little finish, and then take care of the sleeves over here. Anyway, I'm really pleased. We just had a meeting recently and told ourselves that we really need to focus on these patterns we've been working on, because we have so many things that we want to make, and we're just getting new ideas all the time. And then of course you want to start the new idea, and so the other thing that you're working on gets paused. So we all determined that we need to really focus so that we can get these patterns out to be shared. Okay, it's been really fun today to kind of dive down memory lane with the sweaters that I've made from this book, and also talk about the new book that I got about the 2 socks in 1. I'm going to continue to keep my notes on how this pattern is going, and I might even share kind of how I did this little stitch pattern here that I just made up on the fly, and in my Patreon feed. Woo, words are not wanting to come to me. Anyway, so if you made it through all of that, thank you, and I hope that you have a fantastic rest of your day. Enjoy whatever it is you enjoy doing, knitting, crochet, spinning, whatever it is. Hope you find some time for that, and I will talk to you soon.